27.2 is located on Ross page 195, and this is the matter of pronominal suffixes on these new stems. The good news is that since the pual is a passive stem, it will not take pronominal suffixes, because in the pual, the subject is the patient of the verbal action. Normally, when you have a pronominal suffix, that pronominal suffix represents the direct object, which is the one being affected by the verbal action. Okay? And since the subject in the pual is the patient, is the one being affected by the verbal action, there's no direct object for those, and so you won't see pronominal suffixes. The PL, though, because it's an active stem, can take pronominal suffixes. So I've co-opted these forms from the Ross textbook. So don't look at the Ross textbook. Look at the forms as we have them here and see if you can't figure out exactly what we're looking at with these pronominal suffixed forms. So look at the first one. I have kiddashuni. Kiddashuni. If I were to ask you to parse this, the first thing you do is try to identify your verbal root letters, which would be the verbal root that has to do with being holy. Kadesh means to be holy. Now look here. I have a kirik under root 1 and doubling in root 2. Here's the deal. You see doubling in root 2. What are your two possibilities if root 2 is doubled? It's either P or Pu, right? It's PL or Pual. You see the kirik under root 1, then which of these two must it be? It's got to be the PL. Good. Now, I have a kirik under that root 1. There is only one place in the PL where a kirik is under root 1. Everywhere else, it's an A vowel. Where do you see it in the PL? In the PL perfect. Let's just take a look at that principal part sheet there for a second. In the PL, the perfect has the kirik here and under root 1. Okay, so there's my kirik. Everywhere else, the root 1 pei has a pathak under it. The imperfect, the WCI, the jussive, the cohortative, the imperative, the participle, the infinitive construct, and the infinitive absolute. Root 1's pei has a pathak, an A-class vowel, followed by the seri. Okay? It is only in the PL perfect that I get the kirik. Okay? So anytime I have a PL form and I see a kirik under root 1, I know exactly what that is. That's a PL perfect. It's got to be. Back to our handout here. We're going to identify this as a PL perfect because of that kirik under the kof. So, which perfect form has a shurik after root 3? Well, that's not too hard, is it? 3CP, good. Plus, I now have the ni direct object pronominal suffix. That is first common singular suffix. So, what does the PL of the verb kadesh mean? In the cow, it means to be holy. And in the PL, it means to make holy, which is to sanctify. Okay? So how would I translate this? PL perfect 3CP is they what? They sanctified. And whom did they sanctify? The ni is me. Okay? They sanctified me. Kiddashu, they sanctified. Kiddashuni, they sanctified me. All right. Look at the second one. I have kiddash tihu. Kiddash tihu. Do you see the doubling dot in root 2 here? That's clearly what stem? It's either PL or Pual. You see the kirik under root 1, it's got to be the PL. If it's a PL with a kirik under root 1, which PL conjugation pattern is that? Only one, the PL perfect. Now look at what comes after root 3. I have T followed by who? This is my personal ending. This is my direct object pronominal suffix here. Okay? If I see the T, there's two possibilities for when I add pronominal suffixes to a perfect. What is the most obvious one? The perfect one, CS. But what was the personal ending that changed to T from what it normally is?
2FS.
The 2FS. Remember, T becomes T before I add pronominal suffixes to it. Okay? And then I have the who for the direct object pronoun. Which person gender number is that? It's 3MS. Okay? So, if we translate this with the first common singular subject, it's I what? Kidashti. I sanctified. And whom did I sanctify? 3MS. Him. Okay? And if it's 2FS, it's you sanctified him. Okay? Okay. Look at the third example. I have Yukadasheni. Yukadasheni. Here's our three root letters from Kadesh. Okay? I have a prefix yod with a vocal shava under it. Which stem does that? PL and pual do that. See the doubling in root 2? That's also characteristic of PL pual. How do I know which it is? I now have to look at the root 1 vowel. Is it a U-class vowel? The answer is no. It's an A-class vowel. That is not a pual, it's a PL. PLs can get I or A under root 1. Now, here's the question. This prefix yod is characteristic of the third person imperfect, right? So this would be PL imperfect. Third masculine what? Is it third masculine singular or third masculine plural? What normally goes with the prefix yod if it's 3MS? It's prefix yod plus what at the end? Nothing. If it's 3MP, it's prefix yod plus shurik at the end. Which one of these is being reflected here? It's 3MS. Okay, in other words, after my third root letter, I have no suffix, and then ni is my direct object slot. Okay, so I have 0 ending. It's 3MS. Plus, which pronoun is ni? 1CS. Okay, how will I translate this? We need to make it not just PL in meaning, but imperfect, which is usually future. So, he is 3MS subject, will what? Sanctify. And whom will he sanctify? Me. Yukadasheni. He will sanctify me. Okay, look at the fourth one. Yukadashunu. Yukadashunu. We have this Yukadesh issue, but now I've got Yukadashu. I have the yod prefix and the shurik on the back end. This is 3MP, right? 3MP. I've got my three root letters. This tells me it's got to be the PL, not the pual. And then what pronoun is new? First common plural, right? How am I going to translate that? 3MP is who? Masculine plural. So that makes it they, right? And again, will sanctify because it's PL and imperfect. But the direct object is new, and that's sanctify us. First common plural. Okay, so they will sanctify us. Now, you remember how in the imperfect, we learned that if there isn't a personal ending like the shurik we have here for yukadashu, right? When we already have a vowel as part of our inflectional ending, we just add the pronoun to it. But if my ending is zero ending, then I'm going to use a helping vowel. What is the common helping vowel in the imperfect when I'm adding pronominal suffixes to them? It's an I-class vowel, right? Looking for I-class helping vowels for the imperfect. Well, that's also true of the imperative, because the imperative is using the system of the imperfect, okay? How do we form the imperative? You start with the imperfect and you chop off the prefix, chop off the head. Look at cod the shame here. Cod the shame, this last one. Notice there's no prefix, is there? There's just the 3 root letters. So that means that this could be the PL what? It could be the PL perfect. It could also be the PL imperative, couldn't it? Because the PL perfect and the PL imperative don't have any prefixes. How do I know whether it's the PL perfect or the PL imperative? I got to look at the vowel with root 1. If it's the PL perfect, what's going to be the vowel under root 1? It's got to be a Keurig. It's got to be an I-class vowel. If it's an imperative, what's it going to have under root 1? It's going to have a pathak. It's going to have an A vowel. Okay? So this has an A vowel. So this is the PL imperative. And then I have no personal ending, which means it's 2MS. And then I have an I-class helping vowel before the pronominal suffix. Which pronominal suffix is that mem at the end? Third masculine plural. 3MP. How am I going to translate this? I'm telling a single man, sanctify. Sanctify whom? Sanctify them. Okay? It's a command. That's an imperative. All right. There you go. So that's examples of adding direct object pronominal suffixes to the PL. Remember, the PUL won't take those, just the PL. Yep.
Can you just go over why that's a sere before the mem instead of like a hey, like a hem instead of an aim?
Oh, right. Yeah, well, here, let me just show you something, okay? So here's that handout that we went through back some time ago, right? So the third masculine plural direct object pronominal suffix is just a mem or noon, okay? When we add it to the perfect, this is when we add it to the imperfect, and by extension, the imperatives. So sere mem and sere noon for them, masculine and feminine. So yeah, so you'll see the hem and hen on nouns, okay, but not on verbs when they're pronominal suffixes there. Okay, you're welcome. Let's move on here to 27.3, which is translating the PL, and in the PUAL chapter, it's 28.2, translating the PUAL. There's really nothing to say about that except that you take the PL meaning and make it passive, okay? But let's walk through the different semantic possibilities that putting a verb in the PL stem could involve. Now, here's the thing. There's going to be, 3 main ways that the PL will mean something by using the PL formation. That does not mean that every verb is going to have one of these semantic nuances when it's in the PL. Each verb will have its own semantic nuance, okay? So we have to be careful with this. These are just what grammarians have done is they've said, okay, let's look at all the PL verb forms and let's try to characterize what are the most common meanings that are associated with using this verb in the PL when the writer could have used it in a different stem, like the cal, okay? So the first meaning is the factative meaning, okay? The factative meaning, here, we're starting with a verb in the cal, and it's stative in the cal. If I have a verb that is stative in the cal, then to put it in the PL, okay, is what's called a factative meaning. And I know that's a big word and you've probably never heard it before. But all it does is it means to make X enter the state represented by the cow. Okay? To make X enter the state of the meaning in the cow. For example, we just talked about the verb kadesh. So that's to be holy. Okay? So kadesh looks like this. So he was holy. The PL would be a kiddush. Okay? And this is really, the idea is to cause someone to be holy. Well, if you cause someone to be holy, what are you doing? You're bringing them into a state of holiness, right? And so whenever we translate this with the factative meaning, to cause to be holy, there's usually going to be some verb in English that actually encapsulates that whole idea. And like for us, it's to sanctify or to consecrate, right? Those all have the same meaning. To cause to be holy, to sanctify, to consecrate. Okay? So, Kadesh, he was holy. Kadesh, he sanctified. That is, he made something or someone holy. When you have situations like this, you're going to see a direct object. And the direct object is the one that enters into the state that the kal meaning would have. So that's for Kadesh. He gives you another example. So we have the verb gadol, which is a state of verb, to, well, we can just use he. So he was big, right? He was large. What would the PL be? It'd be gadel, and it would be something like he made someone be big. What would that be like? Well, he made someone big, he made them great, and so forth. Okay? This verb could also mean to bring up, as in to cause children to get big. Okay? So when you cause your children to get big, what do? You bring them up. This is used, by the way, in Isaiah, where Isaiah's reflecting Yahweh's speech, and he says, sons gedalti, the PL perfect 1CS of Gedel. Sons gedalti, sons I have brought up, but they have rebelled against me. Okay? So that's the factative idea. Let's look at the second one, the denominative idea. What does de mean? Well, those of you that speak Spanish know de means what? From. Okay? And that's also reflected here in this Latin root. The word nominative comes from the word in Latin for noun. Okay? So a predicate nominative is a predicate noun, a noun that is used on the other side of a verb of being. He was a man. Okay, a man is the predicate nominative. That's a noun. So, what's a denominative use of the PL? Well, what that means is you start with a noun and then you use the PL formation to create a verb out of that noun. Now, we do this sort of thing in English all the time. Take the noun Google. Google was a search engine. What did we do with that noun? We created a verb out of it, didn't we? Nowadays, we say, Google it. What does that mean? It means go use Google to find it, right? So the verb to Google, okay, to Google is a denominative verb. It's a verb created out of a noun that existed before the verb. Okay? And so in Hebrew, we could create verbs out of nouns by using the PL formation. So take a noun like baracha. Okay, what does baracha mean? Yeah, this is that noun blessing. How many real root letters are in the noun blessing? Bet, resh, kaf. The kametz hey is not a root letter. It's just a vowel that indicates it's feminine singular, right? So what I can do is I can take the 3 root letters of blessing, barach, and then I create PL vowel pointing. In other words, I take the root letters and create a PL verb form, and this will give me a verb, which means to bless. Okay? And the normal way to point this would have been something like this. Sorry, that cough is a little funny. So, be rech. Be rech. What's going to happen here? Resh, can that take a Dagesh forte? Can it? No. Remember, Resh is part of the Guts gang. Resh doesn't take no Dagesh from anyone, does it? So it's going to reject that Dagesh forte. I'm sorry, I'm just so bothered by my horrible cough here. Okay, so Resh is going to reject the Dagesh forte, and this Keurig that comes before it is going to compensatorily lengthen and become a seri. So that's why there's a seri here instead of a Keurig, okay? But that's neither here nor there. The point is that the PL means to do what that noun represents. Okay, I've created a verb form out of the noun. My favorite one is this one. The noun shalosh means what? We just learned this in chapter 25. It's the number 3, right? It's the number 3. Well, I take the 3 root letters of shalosh and I apply PL vowel pointing. Shalesh, okay, that's the PL, and that means to do 3 times, okay? So he did something 3 times, shalesh. Isn't that cool? All right, so that's the idea of the denominative use. So here, when we have a denominative use of the PL, we're not really thinking of any kind of pre-existing cal verb with meaning that the PL is somehow manipulating. We're actually starting with a noun and then just using the PL formation to create that verb. All right, let's look at the third one. The third one is the pluralizing or intensive nuance of the PL stem. These are interesting, but using a PL formation here really does, when you think about it, have some relation to the cal verb's meaning. So if we take the verb shavar in the cal, so that would be he broke. Okay. Now let's make it PL. Shiber. Okay. How would I translate this? This intensifies the meaning that the cal represents. So it isn't just that he broke, but he broke it into little pieces. So you could translate this as he shattered. Okay? He shattered. Or he smashed. That's more intensive than just breaking something, right? All right. If you take the verb ratzach, we'll just jump down to that one. Ratzach in the well, here we'll put it in the cal active participle. So this is one who kills. Okay, this is a substantival use of the participle. One who kills, which equals a killer. Okay? Now let's make this PL participle. We take ratzach, and what's the PL pointing? Mem prefix, vocal shava, pathak under root 1, sere, with the doubling down on root 2. And there's furtive pathaks in both of these. Moratzeach. What is this? Not just someone who kills, but someone who kills maybe repeatedly. That's the pluralizing idea. And that would make him not just a killer, but an assassin. Okay? All right. So there you go. For number 4, this is just basically the catch-all or miscellaneous category. That is to say, there aren't just a finite number of PL possibilities for meaning. Sometimes the 3 main ones that we just looked at is not in view with a particular PL verb. Sometimes a verb in the PL is just going to have a particular nuance that you have to learn as you learn the verb. So he mentions several other possibilities. The iterative one, okay, so iterative, where if something is done in the PL, it could indicate repetitive, okay, something that's done in a repeated way or frequently. So the PL of sacrifice, zabach, is he sacrificed frequently. Declarative. Declarative, if a PL form is declarative, then it means that someone declares someone to be what that Hebrew verb's meaning is or state is. So in this situation, tzedek is related to the adjective righteous. Tzedek is to declare righteous. Okay, so he declared righteous. So there's the PL form. Privative. Do you know the word privation, as in deprivation? It means to deprive of something or to remove something. So take the word in English, skin. Okay? What's that? Well, that's the thing on the outside of your body, right, that covers your muscles and your bone. What does it mean if I create a verb to skin something? What does that do? Or what am I doing if I skin something? Am I putting skin on it? No, I'm taking skin off, right? So this verb is a privative verb in English. It means to deprive of skin, to remove something, okay? And the verb chata in the cow is he sinned, and the PL kite. So here I'm using the PL pointing. It means to remove sin. Okay, so you could say he cleansed from sin. Okay, or he removed sin. So these are really interesting uses here. All right. Well, how will you know if it's one of these catch-all or miscellaneous uses? You simply have to look at the lexical entry for the verb and see what its meaning is in the PL. It may have a special nuance, okay? All right. Well, we'll stop there.